There we are. So hi to everyone at YouTube. I'm just going to go live on my TikTok as well. And then we'll get started.
Your TikTok has the name, your name plus 333 behind it. Is that you? That's all right. Okay.
But there is someone who's been faking, like made a fake profile of me, and they've been like scamming people saying about readings and stuff, which is obviously not me, but somehow they've done it where if someone actually clicks on the message link, it goes back to my profile, so it looks like it is actually me, but it's not. So my TikTok has got the 333, but there has been someone who's like copied it as well, so just keep your eye out for the scammers and stuff. Hi everyone, we're reading the Emerald Tablets today. We're on chapter 6 today, and you won't believe it because it's about magic, which is the most exciting thing, because you know what I'm like, magic. So hi to everyone on YouTube, hi to everyone on TikTok. If you are watching on TikTok, we're actually live on my YouTube as well. We're on a Zoom call. I've got some awesome guests with me today. We've got our regulars. We've got Harry Kenner with us and Derek as well. And these guys are awesome. They join us every week for this Emerald Tablets reading. And they've all just got so much wisdom to share. So we're going to have a really awesome call today. And I'm sharing my screen on YouTube, so if you did want to actually be able to read the tablets and see what's going on, see what we're reading and read with us, then feel free to follow on YouTube instead, and then you can actually see our screen. Otherwise, if you're happy to just have a listen, then stay with us here and just listen here. So Holy Trinity, who's just joined the live, he is also on the YouTube. That's Derek. And then Harry, Harry's on the YouTube as well. So just a little introduction then. I do a little introduction every time we do the reading, just to basically explain why I chose the Emerald Tablets. And I don't know if you guys have read the Emerald Tablets before, but it's just such a powerful text, and it's only short as well. Like you could actually get through the whole thing really quickly. And what I liked most is it was really the first sacred, the first kind of holy text that I ever read. I grew up being an atheist, and I didn't like the thought of like organized religion and stuff like that, and so I never really read any of the religious texts, but I did find the path of spirituality. And what happened was I just ended up being guided to read the Emerald Tablets. And what I liked about them was initially it wasn't like they were kind of like fitted into any one religion, so it was more accessible for me as an atheist to kind of read them and to not feel like I was being indoctrinated, if you will. But the truth is, now the more I've gone on the spiritual path, hey Jojo, the more I've realized that there is a lot of beautiful truths in all of the religious texts. It's not all indoctrination, but at the same time that there is quite a lot that's misleading in them if you don't understand how to read the truths in them. The religious texts themselves, they're full of truths, but they're all metaphors. The truths, the real, like powerful, like magic in them has been hidden. And they say, for those with eyes to see or with ears to hear. So what it means is, if you aren't on the path and you're just reading those texts, you'll just read them word for word, take them literally, and that's it. But if you kind of are on the spiritual path and you're aware of like the hidden metaphors that God has hidden in everything, then when you read those texts, you'll really start to see the deep truths. And the way that these texts and the Emerald Tablets and a lot of the universe is geared up to really mirror back to us and show us how to ascend and how to become enlightened masters, and to basically become the magicians or the mage of our own game. We are in a game. This matrix simulation is a game, and the word game is an anagram of mage. If you want to become the master of your game, you need to become the mage, which is the magician. Our lives are ran by magic. Like magic is pretty much the governing principle of the cosmos, and it basically it brings about laws and like the laws of the cosmos and stuff like that. But in this realm, we've had black magicians who have been using magic against us to keep their power and to keep us out of our power. So when you start to take your magic back and your power back, and you get rid of the bad spells off your life and instead cast your own spells and manifest your own life and what you want for yourself, then you start to really become a master of your game. And all of these sacred texts teach you how to do that if you know how to read them properly. So this is why this is my favorite chapter of this book. I have not read this in like 3 years or something, but I did have a little sneaky peek because I saw it was the chapter of magic, and I thought, well, I couldn't resist. So we've been reading each chapter every other week pretty much as a group, and we're going to start reading the Emerald Tablets chapter 6 now, which is all about magic. Just as a quick little thing, the Emerald Tablets was written by a king, a magician called Thoth. He was Thoth the Atlantean. He was a king and a magician in Atlantean times, and he basically is the incarnation of the luminary Mercury. So he's a messenger of God. He came down to bring the light to this plane and to find the light within himself, and then show everyone else how to do that too, and teach them how to become their own magicians and masters of the game. Now, our life, the word life, is an anagram of the word file, which means that after this life, your life just becomes another file in your Akashic records. The way that it's all set up, it's all about us basically trying to better ourselves and grow and be our highest version of ourselves. And so this book that we're reading, it's called The Emerald Tablets of Thoth. Thoth wrote down all his wisdom in this text, and then he ended up ascending and leaving the earth plane. One thing to mention as well is when you do find the Christ consciousness within, when you do become an ascended enlightened master like Thoth did, like what the Emerald Tablets is teaching you and what all the religious texts teach you how to do, when you do that, you basically can live for as long as you want. You don't die by the hands of man, and you become a godlike being on this earth plane, which means that you can literally live for thousands of years, and they choose when they want to go. And I'm pretty sure they probably just go in like a meditation and then they leave. And I've heard Buddhist texts talking about similar things, monks who have achieved that same state and you just leave. Even like Hopi tribes who have just disappeared out of nowhere, possibly they all just decided to ascend at the same time. So this is really cool because this text is basically Thoth left this behind. He said, right, this is what I've achieved. What happened is when in his lifetime, the humanity started to use black magic in the wrong way, and they tried to open a negative portal and bring in demons and too much dark energy. So basically there came this great flood to try and close and seal that off. And so Thoth saved some and not all, and then he ended up being like, right, humanity is obviously in a descending state. I'm going to leave, and I'm going to leave all my wisdom to basically be uncovered again in the future, which is now, which is why we're uncovering it all now. So I'm going to share my screen. Just check the YouTube and we'll get to chapter 6. So that's chapter 3, chapter 4, 5, 6. Okay, chapter 6, the key of magic. So then, in fact, I'm going to keep that grid open so that we can see everyone. All right, so Emerald Tablet 6, Key of Magic. Hark ye, O man, to the wisdom of magic. Hark to the knowledge of powers forgotten. Long, long ago, in the days of first man, warfare began between darkness and light. Men, then as now, were filled with both darkness and light, and while in some darkness held sway, in others light filled the soul. Aye, age old is this warfare, the eternal struggle between darkness and light. Fiercely is it fought through all ages, using strange powers hidden to man. We are literally in this spiritual war right now, light versus the night, and the light will win. The light has won. We're just seeing the manifestation of it coming into play. But there are still some negative energies on this plane that are still affecting us, and it's all magic. It is literally the forces of magic that the black magicians have been using against us to keep us out of our power. So this is when they're saying using strange powers hidden to man. Derek and Harry, just jump in if you want to add anything, Kay. Adepts have there been filled with the blackness, struggling always against the light, but others there are who, filled with brightness, have ever conquered the darkness of night. Wherever you may be in all ages and planes, surely ye shall know of the battle with night. Long ages ago, the sons of the morning descended, found the world filled with night. There in that past time began the struggle, the age-old battle of darkness and light. So God never made the earth to be a place of the night and of the darkness. He wanted us to have somewhere that we could enjoy and experience the different things you can experience in the physical. And what's happened is when people have ascended from the earth, the darkness had overtaken. And so when it's saying that the sons of the morning descended and found the world filled with night, these are the ascended masters who had ascended back up to heaven. They'd become luminaries, stars, gods and goddesses, whatever you want to call them, angels. And what happened was they've come back to earth to see kind of how we're getting on, and the darkness has overtaken. And so what has happened, and this is what's going on right now, is a lot of beings, a lot of the light workers, the star seeds, the stars, the gods, the goddesses, they've come down and incarnated into earth on this time to help bring the light, because the darkness can really overtake people, and the light is so much stronger. The darkness has no chance. But when people are so disconnected from the light, then it can take a hold. And so we're all here to help people find the light within themselves again.
Yeah, I think it has a lot to do with your emotions as well. I mean, when you're in church, you can have that vibe and, have all the best thoughts, right? But then let's say, or wherever this is at, let's say it's at the park on Sunday, just your personal time. Later on that day, you get cut off, this is where, it doesn't matter where you go, that darkness will always find you. It'll be something negative happened. There'll be something in life that'll come around. And that's what we were talking about earlier. To be a true alchemist is to be a master of your emotions.
Yeah. 1,000%. Your emotions, your emotion is energy in motion, and the ego is energy goes. And the video that I shared recently about the proof of God, you saw it, Derek, as well, but it was an excerpt in the book The Secret of Light by Walter Russell. Have you read that?
Yes.
Yeah. So he talks about basically the physical world is the world in motion, but it's any kind of motion is negatively polarized. It swings back and forth, and God is the positive of it, which is the center, the stillness. When you become enlightened, you overcome your emotions and your ego, which means that your soul isn't vibrating in motion anymore and in your emotion. What happens is you become the still magnetic white light of God, and you become centered. And then, because you're magnetic rather than electric or something like that, the electric wave always ends at some point. It's not constant and forever, but the magnetic energy is. And when your soul becomes the magnetic polarization, or I don't know how quite to describe it, but when your soul reaches that level, you are eternal, and even in this physical body you are eternal, because your soul is emitting the energy of the magnetic, which is constant forever. So
yeah, and that relates to one of your followers that had a comment about the conch shell. You know, your harmonics are in the conch shell, the 5th, the 11th harmonic, you know, the second, the halving. All of these are sine waves, and this is why Krishna always holds is either a flute or a conch shell, is because those cymatics, those waves are within it. That is your DNA. But the electric is the masculine. Well, that is right up your alley. That in music is the minor. And then the major is the feminine. That's the magnetic. So just like in Hallelujah, the major falls, but the minor lifts. The electricity decays, but the magnetism pulls it back together.
Right. I love that, and I can't wait to just discover more about like the healing power of music, because I just know that we've not scratched the surface with all of that yet.
Not even close, yeah.
So let's see where we were. So many in that time were so filled with darkness that only feebly flamed the light from the night. Some there were masters of darkness who sought to fill all with their darkness, sought to draw others into their night. Just so we all know, those beings have existed in our lifetime. They have been the ones, the black magicians behind the scenes, the shadow government, the ones who are part of Hollywood, who have been trying to program us and basically cast black magic spells on us to try and take our souls out of the light and to try and take us from the light. They will cast spells on you to, like sex spells, to want to ejaculate your seed all the time. They cast spells on you to eat meat. They cast spells on you to drink alcohol. All these different things that will make your body acidic, or that will deplete you of your chi. All the different things that will take you off from being as much in your light as possible. And that is because they're so pathetic. They already know what their fate is. They've been doing horrible things to harness energy in order to cast this black magic spells on us. They've been trying to maintain power by doing that, and they know that they're going down, which is why they're trying to take people with them. So they are after people's souls. It's a serious thing. Like, life can be fun and enjoyable, but at the same time, seriously be aware of black magic and the black magicians and the negative spells, because they can literally ruin lives, and worse than that, they can try and take your soul, and they have been trying to do that to people. And this is what Thoth is saying. Even back then, in the time of Atlantis, when the gods came down, he says here that there were black magicians who were trying to draw others into their night. So it is literally a battle for the soul. And just to make everyone aware, the night versus the light, when we talk about the word black, it is literally black energy without light. Now, when people say, oh, I'm black as in your skin color, no one's actually black and white. We are all just different shades of brown. And the word black could even mean be lack, to be lacking in the light and stuff. So even saying I am black is casting a negative spell on yourself. You don't want to be doing that. And I wouldn't also say that I'm white, because I'm not. So black and white really should just be kept for the light and the night, the light and the darkness. No one is actually black or white. So I don't want anyone thinking, when you say, oh, black magicians and stuff. I did do a video about it a while ago, and people were saying, oh, what you're talking about, you're being racist and stuff. That's not what it means. And so just to make sure everyone's aware of that as well. So I'm just going to start this paragraph again, because they're important things to take note of. And thank you so much, Andrew, for the gifts, and to Helen for the rose, and everyone else who's been giving gifts and liking and sharing stuff. I appreciate it also. Just to check our YouTube. Right, so some there were masters of darkness who sought to fill all with their darkness, sought to draw others into their night. Fiercely withstood they, the masters of brightness, fiercely fought they from the darkness of night. Sought they ever to tighten the fetters, the chains that bind man to the darkness of night. Used they always the dark magic brought into man by the power of darkness, magic that enshrouded man's soul with darkness. Banded together in as order, brothers of darkness, they through the ages, antagonists they to the children of men, walked they, always secret and hidden, found yet not found by the children of men. Forever they walked and worked in darkness, hiding from the light in the darkness of night. Silently, secretly used they their power, enslaving and binding the souls of men. So does that not sound like what's been going on at the minute? Like completely the same. So is this like a cyclic battle that we've been doing, light versus night? And it's just literally like shown us what's been going on. So it's important to be aware. Unseen they come and unseen they go. Man in his ignorance calls them from below. Okay, I've done a video about this as well recently. So man in his ignorance calls them from below. Would you even believe that the reason there are demons and dark entities on this plane is because of humans? Because of us, because of our ignorance to the black magic spells that we cast every day without realizing. Our language, people say good morning, hello, and there's so many spells and energies about that, and we even say, oh, that's so sick, that's wicked. That no, like I even thought of the other one the other day. I used to say, oh, I want to be this so bad, I want to be a singer so bad, or whatever it is. But to say so bad, it's like, what? And we're just constantly casting these negative spells out into the cosmos. But also, like Derek said, it's our emotions. When we react emotionally to things, our chakra portals open up to the realms of that emotion and bring forth the demons. So if you have pain in you, this is why it's so important to face yourself, do the shadow work and get rid of it. Because if you have pain in you that you suppress and it's just always in you, what happens is when you feel that pain, when you express or feel that pain, you open up the pain portal chakra, which then allows demons of pain to come into the cosmos. So we bring these demons in through our negative emotions, through our negative thoughts, through slagging people off, through there's loads of different ways. And so because we have caused the darkness to be here, we also have the power to get rid of it. And so it's about becoming aware and not ignorant in the way that we are being and the energy that we're emanating. So dark is the way the dark brothers travel, dark with the darkness, not of the night. Traveling over earth, they walk through man's dreams. Okay, anyone been having bad dreams these past few years? Because since the lockdowns and since they started putting up the towers and stuff, my dreams have been terrible. And what happens is you can often get infiltrated in dreams by the demons and stuff, because that's where they are most powerful, because they are like spiritual beings. And so they can come into your dreams and they start in your dreams, they start in your thoughts, negative thoughts, intrusive thoughts. You're not good enough. Why don't, like, no one even likes you. Why are you even here? You should just give up. All of these different things, the demons and negative. And they're all the things that try and pull us back towards just giving up, being part of the night. Who gives a F? Everyone's doing it, so why don't I just do it? All of these things. So they start in dream time first, because they have their most power, which just shows how weak they are, because in waking state, they have no power over us. They can't fight, they can't fight the light, so they have to try and come for you in your dreams instead. And if you want any protection for your dreams, like sleep with crystals, I wear lots of crystal jewelry. Even for sleeping in, I'll wear my crystal rings, protect my channels. Each finger is a channel for the elements. Wear just as much crystals as you can. You can put up crystal grids, you can cast spells or put protection spells up, you can turn off your Wi-Fi, you can make sure your TV's turned off and unplugged and your phone's off and it's on airplane mode, or whatever. Do you guys have any tips as well on protecting your dreams?
I think protecting your energy, period, yeah, is important. So anyway, in every way, if it's not for everyone, keep it to yourself. You don't have to share everything with it, with everybody. If there's something big that's coming up, we're in a generation that's prone to, let's put it on Instagram, let's put it on Facebook, but then you're like a job offer or baby, you know what I mean? There's all this stuff.
Yeah.
Be more protective of that energy, and then get away from plastics as much as possible. All these microtoxins and plastics, go to glass, ceramic, stone, copper is one of my favorite things, implementing copper and protecting your energy where you can, like start small and build up from there.
I see a video of people with long copper wire on poles, and they're putting it around the garden because it brings the energy into the ground, and it's supposed to make the plants grow. And the point is that with all the number 5 broadcasts, whatever, it's having quite a bad effect, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've definitely seen the copper in the gardens, and plants are growing so much quicker, and the fruits and the vegetables are so much bigger and stuff. It's definitely worth doing. Copper is the crystallization of the luminary Venus, and Venus as a feminine energy, she's expansive, so it expands the energy. So of course then your plants grow so much quicker, and the fruits are bigger and stuff. So thanks for sharing that.
Yeah. You could also, if you're having bad dreams, and they're like real bad dreams, take a bowl that's a glass or crystal, take a bowl and then water, and then add salt, like Celtic sea salt, and smoky quartz. And then that is supposed to absorb any negative energy that is trapped within you. And you could also shake it out, rub it out. I mean, I call it lymphatic drainage. It's energy moving just to get all the blockages out. But there's something about a natural salt water and smoky quartz crystal.
Fab. The other thing that I'm glad you said as well about just protecting your energy in general, like we're talking about the light versus the night. Our auras, our electromagnetic field and our auras, they are literally filled, they are like light, basically. If you could see people's auras in the energetic realm, you would see the colors, you would see it's a light, and the more light you are filled with, the more protection you have. So if you live a life that's filled with charging yourself with light, so if you connect to nature a lot, you ground a lot, you eat as much raw food as you can, if you're plant-based, if you wear crystals, if you're like cast positive spells and speak light into existence, then the more filled with light you are, the more you shine so much that darkness can't actually even get to you, because the moment it tries to, it's negated with the light. It's too bright, the darkness just can't exist in the light. So that's just a good way of keeping yourself protected, full stop.
When you look at the phone and you look at YouTube, for instance, and you see certain videos about children and sometimes grown-ups, and what happens that's bad to them, and suddenly when you've gone halfway through, you have to turn it off because it's so negative and has such a negative effect on you. And somebody who was killed or what, I won't go into descriptions, but it is appalling. And so that is something.
1,000%. Like, some people sit and watch like horror documentaries and then wonder why they feel so fearful of life and stuff. Anything you consume, even the videos you're watching and stuff, like I try and keep all my timelines aligned with the stuff that I want to like be more of and grow in, and like in things to inspire me and feed my soul, rather than kind of like the gossip stuff or the emotional stuff. Like it's a hard one, because especially with everything we've been learning about what's happening with the children in the world and stuff, like them all going missing and everything else that's been going on with that. It's like it's trying to choose between, we need to know it was happening in order to be able to like be aware of it, make a change, try and manifest something different and do the healing and stuff like that. At the same time, you don't want to really focus on the negatives going on too much, because are you potentially like bringing more of that when you react negatively about it, or when you're thinking about those things and you go to bed thinking about how horrible that is? You're giving your power away to those things in life, and is that charging those things up with more energy? So it's I think it's finding a balance, maybe being aware of what's going on, but not reacting emotionally about it, because that's when you start to feed it your own energy. So. Okay, so we talked about how the darkness, they start through man's dreams, and they try and infiltrate through your mind first. So power they have gained from the darkness around them to call other dwellers from out of their plane in ways that are dark and unseen by man. Into man's mind space reached the dark brothers. Around it, that's funny. I just got a psychic attack on my head while I'm talking about negative energy in your mind. Okay. Into man's mind space reached the dark brothers. Around it they close the veil of their night. There through its lifetime that soul dwells in bondage, bound by the fetters of the veil of the night. Mighty are they in the forbidden knowledge, forbidden because it is one with the night. With this, then putting a veil of night around you, what I've noticed is when a negative spell comes on you, it can be like a cloak over you, like a layer, like a blanket put over you. So the more negative spells you have on, you get these blankets and blankets, these layers upon layers over you in your game. And so when it's talking about them binding you to the night, it's like if you're stuck under these layers, they're holding you down, you're acting in these ways based on what other people want you to be. And so your life then manifests how they want your life to be rather than how you want it to be. Part of being a magician is getting rid of the layers of the bad energy, like an onion, peeling them back, getting rid of the bad spells that are on you. And then once you're on top of that, then casting what you want for your own life. Hark ye, O man, and list to my warning. Be ye free from the bondage of night. Surrender not your soul to the brothers of darkness. Keep thy face ever turned towards the light. Know ye not, O man, that your sorrow only has come through the veil of the night? Aye, man, heed ye my warning. Strive ever upwards, turn your soul towards the light. For well know they that those who have travelled far towards the sun on their pathway of light have great and yet greater power to bind with darkness the children of light. So I'm just going to reread that, because I'm like, I thought that the sentence was trying to say that the more you turn towards the sun, the stronger you are to fight off the night. But I don't know if it's saying the more you turn towards the sun, the more power you have, greater power to bind with darkness the children of the light. So what do you guys think that's trying to say? Is it saying that the more power you have, the more power you can actually turn people to the darkness as well? Or
you know me, I think everything is an allegory for the body personally. And so if your energy is in your root chakra, it's in your lower mind, it's in the negativity, right? It's where's the sun, in the solar plexus or the heart, Leo? Because what is Leo? Let me back that up. It says children of light. And who are the children of light? Well, that's the tribe of Judah in the Bible. They're known as the children of light. And then their tribe is the same number as the speed of light, 186,400. Well, the tribe of Judah is Leo, the lion, the tribe of Judah, right? So Leo is, you have the heart, the sun, heart and moon, or the sun and moon are your solar plexus and your heart. So if that energy is in your root, as low as it can go, it has to turn around and go back up towards the sun. but the sun isn't what will give you that ultimate. You have to take it all the way up to your head, right, to the pineal gland. But that sun is what is attracting it from the depths of your lower emotions.
Love that. And the sun as well, the word sun is soul. It's the solar, or the soul of the cosmos. And so when you do head towards that direction, it's about feeding your soul rather than feeding the ego and the animalistic self. What they often say is the lower chakras below the heart, those are like the hellish realms. They are like the lower chakras, and they're your animalistic self. So the root chakra could be used for fear. The sacral chakra could be used for lust and things like that. They each have positive and negatives, so it's not quite as straightforward as that, but they do say that those are the animalistic survival type energies, and then above that are the ascended and angelic type energies. We're on the earth plane, which is the heart chakra at the minute, which means that the consciousness of us is around this area. Some are lower, some are higher, but it's kind of like a middle ground for all. So to head towards the soul is to try and basically ascend the Kundalini and be living from the higher planes and the higher mind. Another thing that this paragraph just said, that we just read, it says, know ye not, O man, that your sorrow has only come through the veil of the night. So the bad things that happen in life, they aren't from God and they aren't from the light. They're always from the night. And even your emotions and your sorrow is of the night, because it allows the sad demons and the sad energies to come through into this plane. Enlightenment, true enlightenment, those teachers, that it's called the holy science, ascending your Kundalini, ascending your chi, your life force, your Christ oil. This basically, once you actually attain that, your body, your chemistry physically changes, where you're not out of balance anymore. So you don't have the same emotionally unstable emotions as humanity does at the minute. Humanity currently is out of balance in their emotions because of the way that society has been set up and the stressful lives that we lead. We kind of do it to ourselves. We don't need to be doing this 9 till 5, eating shit, drinking alcohol and stuff. We could really be living out in nature and eating off the land. But that's not the life that we've chosen as Westerners. So we have this stressful lifestyle, and it causes stress on our bodies, and it causes us to react extra emotional to things, and our emotions aren't our true guidance. Our higher self and our intuition is our true guidance. Our emotions are based on survival. They are literal chemical reactions to perceived threats in the world. So you could have the emotion of fear that your boyfriend's going to cheat on you, and it might just be a complete lie, but your emotion makes you think that way. So it's not true guidance, because it's not true that they will cheat on you. You could just be feeling that way because of traumas or past hurt. And so we aren't ever really meant to experience these serious fears or this serious anger or these serious threats, unless there is a serious threat like a bear coming to try and eat us or something. But the way that we are now, it's like you can get over emotional about anything. And so this is not normal, and this is not kind of how we were created in God's image. God made this plane and this earth for us to enjoy. And so anything that is not of our joy and of our true light, it is coming from the night. So that is a nice part about that as well. List ye, O man, for he who comes to you, but weigh in the balance if his words be of light. For many there are who walk in dark brightness, and yet are not the children of night. So this is, how people say the false light or the false light workers. I've seen a lot of paid shills, people who pretend to be righteous, but they're really there to take you off the path. Even people who believe they're spiritual and will teach and really think they're of the light, yet they aren't actually living that way, or really being that way. And this is about using your discernment and really feeling and sensing and seeing the light within people. And this is something I hope to get, a place I hope to get to myself, and I really hope humanity gets there as well, is being able to actually see people light, rather than, you know, seeing them on their face value. So if you meet someone, I'd love to just be able to see their lightness first and see how bright or dark they are, before I even see like what they look like, because really it's always about like someone's insides. So it'd be really nice to kind of have that as a first impression and then get to know them, rather than like seeing someone on face value, and you get all these stigmas and these stereotypes with the way that people present themselves, that it can shroud your judgment, and you can misjudge someone and not see their light because your own ego puts them in a box before you've even allowed the chance to see them for who and what they are. So, for many there are who walk in dark brightness and yet are not the children of the light. Oh, just another thing as well. Sorry guys, because we're trying to go through this, but I like to just explain bits as well. Is there's a guy who I've seen online. He's got loads of followers. He does lives all the time. He looks a little bit like Perez Hilton. He's got this similar vibe to Perez Hilton, but he did a video once, and he was saying that Jesus had told him that it was okay to eat meat as long as you thank the animal for giving their life, and you thank them, and then it's okay to eat meat. I promise you that is not of the light. That, I don't know who he was speaking to. It wasn't Jesus, because I work with Jesus, and Jesus was a vegan, plant-based. All the Essenes were. A lot of the Ascended Masters were vegetarian or vegan. Vegans really, they were all vegan really. The reason why animal products aren't of the light is because they are death. The animal is killed. If you've ever watched any videos of slaughterhouse footage or anything, you'll see there's no light in that situation. There's no light at all. So thanking the animal for suffering and being killed in a horrible way for you, no, it doesn't cut the mustard. Is that what the saying is? It don't cream the cracker. It don't veggie cream the cracker. So okay, so the many who are not the children of light. Easy it is to follow their pathway, easy to follow the path that they lead. But yes, O man, heed ye my warning. Light comes only to him who strives. Hard is the pathway that leads to the wisdom. Hard is the pathway that leads to the light. Many shall ye find the stones in your pathway, many the mountains to climb towards the light. Something that's just come to me now as well is these who are the false light, they could also be the you know, the celebrities, the stars. We would say, oh, the stars, the celebrities, they are the false light, because they will we kind of as a culture used to look up to them and give them our power, and we see them as gods. But what they are doing is they're on movies promoting sex, they're on movies promoting alcohol, they're on movies promoting junk food and stuff. So they're not of the light, because those practices in life, they don't fill you with light. And so when you eat, like there's certain things you can do on your path that fill you with light, and there's certain things that get rid of your light. And so alcohol, junk food, sex, it all gets rid of your light. And so these celebrities are leading you astray, and that is an easy path to follow. It's really easy to want to eat junk food and to drink alcohol and to orgasm all the time, because it feels good in the short term. There's these short-term fixes that you get from them, but it's like the night has set those up on purpose, these pitfalls on purpose, to try and keep us trapped here, because this realm is the matrix, and while we're here, they have been feeding off our energy. The demons, they don't create their own light, they don't have their own light, so they feed off our light and our energy to even survive and stay here. So they like to keep us on this plane, but dim enough so that we don't find so much light that we ascend. So they like to keep us dim and stupid and dumb and numb. When you eat junk food and drink alcohol, you physically become numb to the spiritual realm. You numb your energetic senses, and so you can't find the light. You're just so under all these spells. You're so stressed in life, trying to do your taxes, trying to look after the kids, trying to eat food, trying to pay your way, that you don't even have time to try and like work with yourself, find God in you, find the light within you and ascend. And they've set this up on purpose with these pitfalls and these easy peasy like traps to fall into with living and with life in order to keep us trapped here basically. And so Thoth is saying it's really easy to follow the false light and to do these things, but that's not of the light, that's of the night. If you want to find the light, it is tougher, it is a challenge, but it's through the challenges we grow, it's through the challenges that we prove ourselves, and you get the rewards in the long term, because even though you don't necessarily get the short-term fixes, long term, the how light you feel, how blissful you feel, how positive you feel, how much in love and just in light you feel, it's so worth it. And so that is that part. So, know ye, O man, to him that overcometh, free will he be of the pathway of light. Follow ye not the dark brothers ever, always be a child of the light. For know ye, O man, in the end light must conquer, and darkness and night be banished from light. This is what's going on right now. It's a spiritual war. The night are leaving this plane. They're not going to be able to stay here for much longer because we're bringing in so much light. So if you are off the night, if you work for the night, if you allow the night to work through you, through being over emotional, through bitching about people, through being negative, through just bringing crap into the cosmos, you are off the night because you're allowing them, you're being a vessel for them. What do you think of that, Harry?
Oh, well, no, I'm just listening.
Okay, Bab. So if you're off the night, you won't be staying here much longer. So listen, O man, and heed ye this wisdom. Even as darkness, so is the light. When darkness is banished and all veils are rendered, out there shall flash from the darkness the light. Even as exist among men the dark brothers, so there exists the brothers of light. Even as exist among men the dark brothers, so there exist the brothers of light. So there have been these black magicians, but there have also been white magicians as well, who are here bringing the light, bringing the white magic, and here to fight the night. And then there's a lot of people just stuck in between who are kind of vessels for both, and unconscious and unaware and not really sure what's going on. Antagonists, they of the brothers of darkness, seeking to free men from the night. Powers have they, mighty and potent, knowing the law, the planets obey. Work they ever in harmony and order, freeing the man's soul from its bondage of night. Secret and hidden walk they also, known not are they to the children of men, yet know that ever they walk with thee, showing the way to the children of men. Ever have they fought the dark brothers, conquering and conquering time without end, yet always light in the end shall be the master, driving away the darkness of night. Hee hee! The light will always win because it's so much more powerful than the darkness, and there's never anything to be fearful of or to be concerned about, because the worst has pretty much already been. So all that's coming now is more and more light, and we have a whole team of the light, of heaven, the angels, God. If you're in the light, you're on God's team. Like, God is on your side. That's the side you want to be on. Sorry, Harry, go on.
Yeah, it seems that our conscious level is low, like you could describe it as asleep, and we haven't woken up. And how to wake up? to all this. And if you're awake, then you can decipher things. It's like as if you have the light, and if you're asleep, you've got darkness. You can see nothing.
That is so true as well. I'd not actually put the two together about being asleep, you're in darkness, and it makes so much sense. I think that a lot of the people who haven't woken up yet, they don't, it's not to say that that means that they are automatically dark or in darkness, but they are easily used by the darkness and by the
that's
darkness
it.
because they haven't got the light in them. So they're easy pawns, if you will, to, you know, to use.
Yeah, exactly.
And manipulate. So what, let me just see where we were. I like how it was saying as well, that the light work in harmony and order with the cosmos, and they also know the law of the planets. This is literally knowing the laws of the cosmos. And one book I really love that explains that very well to me is the Kybalion, that talks about the 7 principles of the laws of the cosmos. And the Kybalion was written by Hermes, who is another incarnation of Thoth. So I don't know, I like Thoth's work, basically. I like Mercury's work. So I've also heard as well, I don't know if you guys have heard this, but Mercury is also the incarnation of the great Buddha. He was also Mercury. He talks about the middle path. And
Enoch as well.
Enoch as well. Okay, cool. Yeah, I was trying to think if there's any more that I can think of, but was Merlin?
Ooh, I believe so, actually. I knew I was forgetting one, like more mythological, which they're all, you know, they all could be real, they all could be mythological, a mix of both. But yeah, no, Merlin, I think, is the one I'm missing. Good job. Yeah.
Yeah. So, so perfect. Thoth is saying, don't worry, because as much as there is darkness, there is a whole team of light. So I, man, know ye this knowing, always beside thee walk the children of light. And it is true, we always have the assistance, whether they're in physical form incarnate or whether they're even just our angels, our guides, our higher selves, God. When you find this, the spiritual guides, and you harness the power of the cosmos and the light of the cosmos, it can really assist you in life. And I don't, like, some people would even say, are your guides even real beings, or are they extensions and projections of you? You know, like I did wonder, you know, Aladdin's lamp, whether the genie was actually a projection of him, a being he created. And you know, like when children have these imaginary friends, maybe they project an aspect of themselves that they need at that time in order to
Exactly.
like,
Yeah, where we are all a threefold nature. We're a body, we're a soul, and we're a spirit. And the sun and the moon, the luminaries, they all are, they're set up the same way, as above, so below. You know, this is where you get black hole sun. You know, there's a we see a physical representation that we see with our eyes, but then there's a spirit. That's where you get SOL versus SOUL.
Yes. So, masters they of the sun power, ever unseen yet the guardians of men. Open to all is their pathway, open to he who will walk in the light. Free are they from dark amenti, free of the halls where life reigns supreme. Sons are they and lords of the morning, children of light to shine among men. Like man are they and yet are unlike. Never divided were they in the past. One have they been in oneness eternal throughout all space since the beginning of time. Up did they come in oneness with the All One, up from the first space, formed and unformed. This could be talking about the, you know, like the archangels and the angels, because I do believe that we can ascend to become an angel ourselves. And maybe we all actually started, in fact, what I think is maybe the archangels were created in God's image, or the higher deities, the higher beings, and then they split off and fragmented off to create like smaller pieces of themselves. And us down here are small fragments of those archangels, because I've met so many people who I'm like, are you me? Like, are you just another fragment of me? Because we are so alike. And sometimes I really feel like I meet myself. It's like, okay, we must have this thing.
Enoch being another version of Mercury, when Enoch ascended, Enoch was turned into exactly what you're saying. He was turned into, like, it's Metatron's cube. It is that archangel, that divine being, that is Enoch ascended.
And I do wonder whether when we ascend from this life, whether I will keep my own individual consciousness, or whether I'll suddenly become this like higher archangel with all the other soul pieces that have all ascended, and we all just merge into one, and suddenly with this higher consciousness again. I don't know whether when you split off as a fragment, whether you stay as that small fragment forever as a soul, or whether when you pass out of this life, you then become part of the one again. It might depend on how high you ascend, maybe, and in terms of how connected to the one you are.
You know, I just thought about this. I've never thought about it before. Enoch sounds a lot like conch. We were talking earlier about the harmonics and the scales. You know, like, I know there's a K or a C sound in there, right? But it's pretty much the same word, you know, Enoch and conch.
Yeah. And I often like to think that the letter E could represent energy, like energy knock. Like if you're playing a percussive instrument, you knock and you create energy, don't you?
Yeah.
So, the spells are everywhere, aren't they?
They are.
So, yeah, it was talking about these guardians who are here to assist and bring the light. Yeah. So given to man have they secrets that shall guard and protect him from all harm. He who would travel the path of a master, free must be he from the bondage of night. Conquer must he the formless and the shapeless, which is the spiritual, the energy basically. Conquer must he the phantom of fear. Have I been in the past, I was really haunted by the phantom of fear for so long. I even created my own fear demons, and I was trying to fight them, and I felt helpless against them. And then I realized, hang on, I've created them, and the fact that I feel helpless against them is giving them power. So as soon as I realized that the light of God in me is far greater than all darkness that exists, they were gone. And fear is an illusion most of the time. And one thing that I actually was told in a dream as well was that I chose fear in this lifetime because I felt like it had held me back in other lifetimes. So it's something that is true. People do conquer and have the phantom of fear, but conquer must he the phantom of fear. And also a lot of people say, let go of the fear of death. That's one of the biggest things that people find when they have their spiritual awakening or have their ego death. They literally face their own mortality almost. And you then let go of all attachments because you already have like faced having to let go of everything. So then it kind of like disconnects you already. So knowing must he gain of all the secrets, travel the pathway that leads through the darkness, yet ever before him keep the light of his goal. Obstacles great shall he meet in the pathway, yet press on to the light of the sun. One thing that I have noticed as well on my journey, when I was talking about this matrix being like a game, and you ascend, you basically go to different levels. When you're playing a game, you get on higher levels. Well, the demon that you face on those levels are even harder, they're even stronger, they're even tougher. So as much as when you are filled with light and you ascend up, you are brighter and stronger, and you attract more light into your life, you can also still face bigger demons, bigger battles. It's all tests, and it's what you're ready and prepared for in order to push you on to that next step and bring you in more light and just make you stronger in the light. but you will find that if you are being psychically attacked a lot, it's possible it's because you are in the light and you are a threat to the night, and so that they will attack those who are actually on a higher level. But continue on the light towards the sun. Hear ye, O man, the sun is the symbol of the light that shines at the end of thy road. Now to thee give I the secrets, how to meet the dark power, meet and conquer the fear from the night. Only by knowing can ye conquer, only by knowing can ye have light. Interesting that they were talking about fear as well. Now, how is it that the black magicians have been really manipulating us in these past few years? Is it through fear? And is the fear real, or is it created fear, you know, perceptions and trickery, basically, you know, to keep us in fear, because that's how we're most easily controlled. So once you overcome the demons of fear, they can't control you anymore. A black magician is someone who doesn't work with the light. So the light is white, it's bright. If you turn on a light, it's white. So that is energy with light. If you're a black magician, you bring in energy that's dark, it's not got the light in it, and so you are basically using the powers of the cosmos for evil intentions. Okay, so he's going to give us some secrets now on how to overcome the night. So now I give unto thee the knowledge known to the masters, the knowing that conquers all the dark fears. Use this, the wisdom I give thee. Master thou shalt be from the brothers of night. When unto thee there comes a feeling, drawing thee nearer to the dark gate, examine thine heart and find if the feeling thou has come from within. If thou shalt find the darkness thine own thoughts, banish them forth from place in thy mind. Send through thy body a wave of vibration, irregular first and regular second, repeating time after time until free. Start the wave force in thy brain center, direct it in waves from thine head to thine foot. So basically, if you've got negative thoughts or like negative intentions and stuff, sometimes it can be you, but I'd say 95% of the time it's other beings. It's like the black magicians or demons and negative energies and entities in this world putting these negative thoughts into your head. So when you have these thoughts to do something that's of the night, feel into your heart and discern, is this me? Is this really what I want to do? Or is it a negative energy or entity trying to sway me to do something that's not really what I would want to do, or that's for the best for my soul? And what Thoth seems to be saying is to use a thought, visualization, maybe it's spells, this whatever vibration you want, maybe it's music, but using thought and vibration to basically cleanse the negative energy out of your body. So if it's not of you, do a spell, hold a crystal, put some music on, have the thought of cleansing and clearing, but get rid of the negative energy, and then decide if it's still something you want to do or not.
I would, could I add one thing to that?
Yeah.
That's all. I 100%. I would just say it's take no thought, actually. So instead of thought, replace it with meditation. And so like pure meditation is not thinking about doing anything. Like Jesus said, go within, take no thought. Like that's one of the biggest things. You take away the kingdom if you don't go within. Mm-hmm. And all he was ever asking was for you to meditate. And it's in that stillness that with no thought, you're not wanting, you're not wishing, you're not practicing your magic. You're just being okay with the moment. Yeah. And then boom, that's when you get, this energy, that enlightenment, or this, maybe it is knowledge of some sort, but it's take no thought. And, it's the delta wave. They talk a lot about theta, but I believe it's delta. It's a little bit slower than theta. And it's pure calmness. It's stillness. Mm. And when Isis, went into the marshes to give birth to Horus, she went into the Delta marshes. And like, why, why does it point that stuff out? Well, there's a reason, these things are clues, and it's that slow, steady brainwave is like, it's the God wave.
1,000%. Once you're aware of your thoughts, and meditation does it for you, you can then sense what isn't your own thoughts. But also, I've noticed in meditation, and I'm so glad you shared that, when I sit and I'm literally still, I've got no stimulus and no entertainment, I feel negative energy and negative spells leaving me. And it's like you have demons in you that crave these quick fix energy fixes. And if you are not, and that's what makes you want to just go on TikTok and get this little little fix, or make you want to eat some quick junk food or whatever it is. But when you sit in meditation, you don't feed the demons that stimuli, they leave. And the longer I sit in meditation, the more I feel them leave, and they lift and they go. And so you can actually clear yourself that way, just from the fact that they're not getting what they want from you, so they'll go to someone else.
I agree. There's definitely a lot to that. And it's funny because like the magnetron, like they talk about free energy, and like a magnetron that are magnets spaced out, like you have coherent waves and non-coherent waves. Well, you think of like, you want rhyme, reason, mathematics, you want it to make sense. But like this like weird ribbon of red, like this energy that changes, is non-coherent, like that's what delta is. Like it's not electric. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. Like it doesn't have to have a rhyme or reason, a high or a low, which is it's you not taking thought. And it's in that stillness is like you're in between that energy, and in between that energy is where you'll find that connection.
And I'm glad you brought up the Bible and Jesus as well, because there's another part in the Bible where Jesus, he says that you can only get to God through me or something. Now, we know from our talks that Jesus is actually the sun in the sky, and the sun is a portal for God's light. And what those just talked about in this chapter, let me just see if I can find it again. He'd said, follow the light of the sun in order to, to find the light. And so both texts are saying the same thing, that it's through the portal of the sun, that's where you'll find God's light. And so it's just always showing you that the sun gives life to everything on this plane. Without the sun, this plane wouldn't exist. I see the sun as a projector. And, if you go to a cinema, the earth is the screen. The sun projects the movie onto the screen. And this is what animates life and the matrix that we are living in. So if the sun wasn't here, the movie would be off. It wouldn't be existing. So the
sun's also not the creator, right? Like, just like Jesus is a carpenter. Well, a carpenter can say he built the house, but did he make the wood that he used? Did he mill those trees? No, he went and bought it from the Home Depot store, right? And so like you have to not get caught, like that's just why they put a lot of sun worship, like all religion is sun worship. Like you are to like pray, like they said, you give praise to the planets on their days, their energies, their colors, their crystals, their stones, their sigils. But at the end of the day, you still have this respect for there's still a creator that put that together. Yes. As divine as that is, it's still just part of the divine matrix.
Yeah, and I think as well that, because I believe in the real Jesus, what did come down, and he was the soul of the sun who came down to help everyone ascend and become an luminary or a sun or a soul like him. So I believe that he actually came, but I also believe that he never pretended to be God either. I actually think he was saying to everyone, hey guys, God exists. You can become a God yourself. You can find God's light within you. Here's how to do it. And what's happened is people have decided to idolize the messenger as opposed to actual God. Whereas even if Christ was here today, he would still say, don't be looking at me. It's God that you've got to thank for things. It's God that does the healing. It's God that works. He's just a channel for God, like we all can be, basically.
Well said. Well said. Great point.
Okay, so using vibration to get rid of bad energy. Can you guys see the text again now?
Yeah.
Fab. Yeah. So But if thou findest thine heart is not darkened, be sure that a force is directed to thee. Only by knowing can thou overcome it. Only by wisdom can thou hope to be free. Knowledge brings wisdom, and wisdom is power. Attain, and ye shall have power over all. And something that I shared recently in a video is the word question is to be on a quest for the ions and for the light. So the light has energy, information, knowledge, wisdom, and power. This is why when people say, oh, she's so bright, they're saying it's a word for the light, being so filled with light, but also so intelligent. The two come hand in hand. So the more filled with light you are, the more knowledge you have, the more you attract knowledge into your life, the more you attract wisdom into your life. Wisdom, knowledge, and light are all pretty much the same thing, and they are all powerful tools to help you ascend. Hi, River, and hi to everyone who's joined us on TikTok and on YouTube. I know I'm like chatting away, so I'm not really able to read the comments and stuff, but I'm loving just sharing the energy with you guys. I can feel how awesome the group is today, so it's nice to be together with you all. So seek ye first a place bound with darkness. Place ye a circle around about thee. Stand erect in the middle of the circle. Use thou this formula, and thou shalt be free. Raise thou thine hands to the dark space above thee. Close thou thine eyes and draw in the light. Call to the spirit of light through the space-time, using these words, and thou shalt be free. So Thoth has given us a spell. So I'm going to read the spell, but feel free to read it along in your heads, to read it out loud with me, or even just if you, when I say the spell, if you say higher self, spell that spell for me as well, then your higher self will spell this spell for you. So feel free to read it out loud if you want to. I think it's going to be a powerful spell that brings in the light, or just enjoy and listen. So this is the spell, but he also actually says place a circle around thee. So basically there's a bit of a ceremony, putting a circle around you. People talk about that a lot as protection, but also what is the symbol of a circle with a dot in the middle? It's the sun, isn't it? I think Derek, you told me that. So when you stand as the dot in the center and you've got a circle around you, you are already creating the and I really want to say emoji, but it's not an emoji, the symbol of the sun.
Well, usually you would use salt, right? The pores of the circle. Well, the alchemical symbol for salt is the same as earth. It's a circle with a line through it. Instead of a dot, it's a line. And what are you? Are the salt of the earth. So you're, it's kind of a cool way to look at it as well.
Yeah, and salt as well. The reason they used salt is because salt is a crystal, just like quartz, and you can imbue it with your intentions. So basically, when you use the salt, you imbue it with the energy of this is protecting me, and then the salt holds that energy and it does protect you. So basically, put a circle around you, stand in the middle of the circle. Put your hands up to the darkness. This is I think this is more like if you're having a psychic attack or if you're in a dark place. But while we're here, just visualize it or whatever, and we'll say the spell in a sec. So I'm just visualizing it. I'm in a circle, hands up to this, the darkness, and close your eyes and draw in the light. So visualize it. This is very much like Reiki. Reiki, the word Reiki is Rei, which is radiate, or the sun, Ra, and then Ki is Chi, life force energy. So with Reiki, you're literally just radiating the light and the life force energy of the cosmos. I'm not talking about the Reiki symbols. I don't really know whether they are positive or negative yet. I'm still sussing that out, but put your hands up to the darkness, bring in the light, call forth the light, call to the spirit of light through the space-time, using these words, and thou shalt be free. So this is the spell. Fill thou my body with spirit of light. Come from the flower that shines through the darkness. Come from the halls where the 7 lords rule. Name them by name. I, the 7, 3, 4, 5, and 6, 7, 8, 9. By their names I call them to aid me. Free me and save me from the darkness of night. Untanas, Quertas, Chiatal, and Guyana. Huatal, Semvada Adal. By their names I implore thee, free me from the darkness and fill me with light. So that's the spell, and those names will be the names of the luminaries or the planets of that time. That's what they will have known them as. So obviously we know them as like Venus, Mercury, the sun, the moon. Other like sectors would know them as like, say, like Freya, Odin, Thor, you know, the different gods and goddesses. Do you guys have anything you wanted to say about any of that before we move on?
Go ahead, Harry.
No, I'm listening to you.
Fab.
I would say that is also sun gazing. So if you sun gaze in the morning and the evenings, your hands are your palms. It's an anagram for lamps. It's an anagram for psalms in the Bible. What is a lamp? To light the way, right? So whenever you're sun gazing, ground yourself and keep in your palms, just exactly how you had them in front of you for sun gazing. But you can also do that with meditating. You know, like what you see Dr. Strange do in the movies, right? Where he's doing the circle in front of him. You can do different motions and grab different energies. And then when you're meditating, you roll your eyes up kind of towards your pineal. But then if you think that's too woo-woo, you know, in the Bible, Jesus says, if thy eye be single, your body will fill with light. Not eyes, plural, your eye. And then it says God is light. If you've seen me, you've seen the Father. And so no matter how you look at it, it all comes back to light.
Yes. And that is so true. And sun gazing is so powerful. The sun, like we say, it gives life to everything on this plane. And so if you go out and you stay in the sun as much as possible, people say, oh no, it gives you cancer. There's no way that God made us to get cancer from the sun. Like the sun gives us so much light and life. The reason they say that is to keep us away from getting the light and the positivity and the upgrades. And don't put cancer-causing chemicals on your skin before you go out into the sun. Don't put sunglasses on to block the rays from coming into your eyes. All of these things are done to try and basically keep us out of the light.
Exactly, yeah. I think if you're somebody who says, hey, I burn easily, just try not wearing sunglasses and ease up on the no lotion, or go to a natural and not wear sunglasses, and you'll be amazed at all of a sudden how your body adapts.
Yes, but also what I found is when I've eaten more like wet food, like raw, I don't burn as easy. It's like if your skin is and your cells are full of moisture, you don't burn. It's like when your body's full of toxins and you dry, that I found a burn worse. So the more healthy you are as well, I think that you don't, like, it's possible you could get cancer from the sun if you ate loads of shit, and it's only actually because of the environment within that like, you know, getting burnt and stuff and being dehydrated can cause cancer. But if you're actually healthy and you literally live in the normal path and how you're meant to be, then when you're in the sun, it fills you. It fills you with all the light and the life that you need. And that God designed us to be healthy in the sun, not to be getting illness. We've kind of done it to ourselves with the lifestyle we lead and the toxins we put into us.
Yeah.
So know ye, O man, that when ye have done this, ye shall be free from the fetters that bind ye. Cast off the bondage from the brothers of night. See ye not that the names have the power to free by vibration the fetters that bind? Use them at need to free thou thine brother, so that he too may come forth from the night. Thou, O man, art thy brother's helper. Let him not lie in the bondage of night. Now unto thee I give you my magic. Take it and dwell upon the pathway of light. Light unto thee, life unto thee, sun may thou be on the cycle above. And so what's really nice is, one, he said that those names in that spell give the vibration to basically get rid of the bad spells and the demons. So when we're talking about vibrations earlier, those names can be used as a spell to get rid of them. The other thing is, he's saying here now, help yourself, save yourself, but don't forget about your brothers and sisters here too. Like, it's not just about you getting out of here and that's it. Like, we're here to help each other because we all are connected. And so when one raises, we all start to raise. But if anyone's left behind, you know, you shouldn't leave anyone behind anyway, but we should just try and help each other, because we're here to assist each other, not just to do it just for ourselves. So
Good stuff. Good stuff.
good stuff.
I mean, it's amazing too, like, you know, where he started counting, he started his count at 3,
Yeah.
4, 5, not at 1, not at 2, right?
Yeah.
There's meanings there's so many hidden meanings with every passage and all the words. I mean, it's like the shortest alchemical book with the most truth is this book right here.
It's really, really powerful. So I've enjoyed that so much. And then the next one for next time then is called The Seven Lords, which is going to be all about the main planetary rays that govern our existence. So that'd be interesting as well to get back on that one. That's pretty much all about magic as well, because once you're aware of the 7 main rays, then you're aware of the energies at play. Just like you said, Derek, each day has its own ray and has its own energy and its own God that governs that day. And so once you start to be aware of that and the energies at play, you can start to then use them and use them to your advantage rather than them kind of using and abusing you.
Yep. That's what turning lead into gold, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's all an internal process.
Because Saturn rules your lower body and your physical sense.
Yeah.
But in spirituality, it's the crowned one. It's the crown chakra. So Saturn's alchemical metal is lead. So you're taking lead in the lower mind physically, and you're turning the 6 upside down to make it a 9, divine consciousness.
And then also after Saturday comes Sunday. Saturn is lead, and then the sun is gold. So it's the start of the new septenary, because the septenary, I call it septenary, it's not a week, because if you say that it's a week, your weekdays, then you're in a weekdays and you cast that spell on yourself. If you say these are my strong rays, then they're going to be your strong rays or your septenary. So it's the 7 energies of the cosmos, and it actually starts on Sunday. That's the first ray of the septenary, and then it works its way down energetically to the lower vibrations, and it goes around like that. So
nice.
I'll just say one thing, that it's just your attention for everybody who is asleep or whatever, all their attention is going out to the outer world, and none of the attention is going back to themselves. And if they want any answers of anything, it is all in themselves. And the idea is to divide your attention so that you've got attention going out in the outer world, and you've got attention on yourself so that you know what you're doing yourself. So that's, and if you watch TikTok, your attention is whoosh. It's appalling.
he's not thinking about you guys.
No, that's very well said. That is the true secret to 369. Spiritually, it's the creation. It's how matter's created. But with you, that is because just like the sun, it doesn't fall over a globe spinning. It's your focal point. If you're drawing a painting, you have a focal point. It's a vanishing point, right? Well, your awareness is your 3, 6, and 9. It's your 2 physical eyes and your 3rd eye. It's a triangle. But it's also like when you flash a light in the darkness, it makes a triangle or a pyramid. It starts with the light and it gets wider. That light that you cast in the darkness with the flashlight is your consciousness. If your consciousness is out in the darkness, you're in the weeds. If your consciousness is in that light, in that 369, and you're aware, and you're consciously aware, and you're aware of energy and how it flows and where it goes, you are now your creator. And this is what manifestation is, 3, the 6, the 9.
1000%. And I love how, Harry, you were talking about it going, your energy going within, because it painted such a like beautiful visual of literally like there's so many distractions in this outside world that a lot of people haven't spent even 10 minutes shining their light within. But can you imagine how drained you must be energetically if you aren't giving back to yourself in that way? I couldn't imagine living life just so projected, so outwards, giving my energy to everyone and everything else, and where does that leave you, kind of thing. So it's so important to give an equal amount to yourself, because that is really, we're all here kind of on our own journey, even though we're here together, even though we're all helping each other. At the end of the day, you save yourself first and then you help the others. So you need to give to yourself, make sure you're good, fill your cup with as much light so you're overflowing, and then you can assist others and give them your light too, and help them find the light within themselves. One of the biggest things I always say is, people sometimes ask me, like, what can we do to change the world or to make it a better place? The best and biggest thing you can do is to literally do the self-work and to be in your own light and to find light within yourself. That is all that we can do as individuals. And just being that light is so much, because it inspires others to find it within themselves, and it assists and brightens up the world to help others find it in themselves. So
1000%.
yeah.
Well said.
Fab. Well, do we have anything else we want to share? Well, we're good, and we'll get on for the next chapter next time.
Good stuff. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks so much for joining us. And to everyone who's been on the TikTok, to everyone who's joined on YouTube, we've got Derek, we've got Harry. These guys are awesome, and they're on pretty much every time we do this. So the next one will probably be in 2 weeks' time. We do them every Wednesday evening. So I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks so much for joining and holding such an awesome space, and just for being so mega. We love you all, and yeah, see you guys for the next one.